Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome back to Nerdin' Out. My name is Evan, and I'm joined by these two nerdy gentlemen. Can you introduce yourselves?
I'm Nathanael. I'm too old, but we keep on.
We're gonna keep on keeping on.
Keep on
I'm
aging.
David. I'm David. I'm not as old as Nathaniel, and I'm gonna
But
keep
you-
that
Wow.
way.
Wow.
But you're like 6 months younger than me, so
Oh, he's the baby.
Wow.
he's the baby. He's the baby.
Way to date me. I see how it is.
I'm not trying to date you, dude.
Well, I can't date you because you're married, so
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
true.
already have a
Actually, I'm
girlfriend,
safe.
So, I mean, a
Yeah.
throuple is definitely a possibility. But oh no,
It's
you're right.
not.
He's the he is married. Damn it.
Yeah, but I don't think Sabrina would be into me, so that's fine.
I think she's too into David, unfortunately. So, I mean, fortunately.
For reasons I'm still figuring out, but yeah.
I feel like that's usually the mindset of the guy is just trying to figure out why the girl is there in the first place.
It's like, but why do you like me?
Right, exactly.
It is an odd dynamic.
Yeah.
I'll do things my unintentionally retarded way. Can I say that? Probably not. My unintentionally interesting
You can
way.
say anything you want.
Oh. So I do things straight up Down syndrome like, and then when I finish, okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it's we're past the fear of getting canceled, so it doesn't matter.
It's true.
We
Now our fear is
require
that
like thousands of listeners for that. So
yeah, our fear is actually the opposite. Our fear is that we get found, and then we're like, oh god.
Yeah, they're gonna dig up our episodes and be
that's like
proactively in 20 years be like,
that was
these guys are hateful.
Yeah, that was like me like a week ago. This girl I'm now seeing more seriously now is like, she was like, "Oh, I found your podcast," and I was like, "Oh."
It's like, what did I say?
Well, it wasn't even that. I think it was just more of like, oh crap, now you're gonna hear all of the really cringy like talk show talk that we were trying to be like, yeah, this is cool, blah blah blah, and then I was like, oh jeez,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. We were way more structured and like
it was so much structure, and it was trying very, very hard to be like professional, but then the later on it went, the more it was just like, whatever. Like,
yeah, we went from super try hard to like, this is just us being brain rot all the time, and that was way funner.
Yeah, it's way more fun just to be like, oh yeah.
Oh no, I said funner, and Evan said more fun. You said it the correct way. No, my bachelor's degree is nothing. All that studying.
All that study for nothing. But yeah, I think it's just more fun, just like less structure.
Bullying
just having
David.
That's part of it. That's always part of it.
But I just do it for the memes. I love David. I just bully him because it's funny for
That's my love language.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, like just mild roasting is like my love language.
Sorry, I stepped away to grab fruit and my earphones disconnected and then reconnected. My love language is being mean.
Yeah, mild. yeah. Mild
We're talking about
roasting.
bullying you.
God. So then, do you just assault someone when you love them? Like what? What do you mean?
We're talking about verbally, dude. Like when I say David has the energy of a child who got left on the side of the road, and someone throwing trash at him is like, he thinks it's love because he's never received anything positive in his life. That's maybe a little too. That's not mild.
Way beyond the nose, Nathaniel. Thanks.
Except you had two loving parents, so.
Well, that's crazy. It's crazy for you to say on the nose because you got a schnoz on you.
I know. Is that stupid Italian and Irish part of me finally joining forces?
Right.
It's only going to get worse the older I get.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing. Is like I was talking about this to someone the other day. It's like, if I don't make fun of you, or if I don't like. If I'm not talking to you, then I don't like. yeah, exactly. Then be worried. You know what I mean? Because then it's like I
Yeah.
don't feel comfortable. Well, no, because I don't feel comfortable enough with you to like do that with and have that banter with, because that you only do that with someone that you really trust.
100%.
Yeah.
So
It's like it starts with I'm not comfortable around you, and then the worst one is I don't like you.
oh yeah, oh yeah. If I don't
Yeah.
want to be your friend, I just don't talk to you, and
Yeah,
that
and if you're
yeah.
talking to me, I'm just gonna like stand there and just kind of give like the most basic answers without saying
Mhm.
"get out of my face" because you don't really say that to people. I mean, you can.
I did once.
Yeah,
It was a guy at
I
work.
have.
It was a guy at work a couple jobs ago. He came up to me and he was like, "Hey, Evan, like, I just want to make sure like everything's good between us and that we're okay and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Look, I'm not here to make friends. If I don't like you, I don't talk to you. If unless you got work to tell me, or unless you have something work related to tell me, don't talk to me." And he just went, "Okay," and then I just walked away. Like
Oh,
I was just like, "Dude, like I don't like."
yeah. It's some of
Yeah,
those people that like tried way too hard to be liked by everybody. It's like, dude, I don't even want to talk to you. Like, read the room.
exactly, exactly.
Usually,
But
those people
Speaking
are
of
people who are unlikable.
yeah. Speaking of trying
anyway,
hard to be liked, let's talk about
Oh no,
Marvel movies right now.
that's
well,
such a good
yeah.
transition.
Yeah, no, it really was, yeah, that's definitely the topic of conversation today is the state of our state of Marvel address. Come out like Kennedy and be like, it's like ask not what Marvel can do for you, and ask what you can do for Marvel's pockets, and it's a very weird time because I feel like you guys have seen the meme where they have all the movies down the side and it's just like, oh, Marvel's dead, and then it goes, Marvel's so back, and then
Mm-hmm.
Marvel's dead, and
Yeah,
then Marvel's,
constantly
yeah. That's what it feels like it's been for like the
after
last like
Endgame.
couple years. Oh yeah, yeah, pretty much after Endgame it's just been constantly like, oh yes, then oh then oh yes, then what the hell. And it's just been this roller coaster of just inconsistency, and which is crazy because I feel like this channel has been founded on, or built rather, on like the love and the gushing over like Marvel properties. So
Yeah,
it
uh-huh.
so it's been really funny kind of watching it take a downspin, and then now we're having a whole episode now talking about, hey, what's going on with Marvel? What are you guys doing? Like,
And it's like so much like I'm looking at their list and it's like since 2023, there's like over 20 products that I
proper.
guess like shows and series they put out. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so many.
Hmm.
Like, oh my
Yeah, and
gosh, like I
they've
didn't
been
realize it was this many.
yeah, they've been really focusing on quantity over quality and hoping
And it's
something sticks.
not until I think last year they finally were like, "Oh, we should self-correct and put out less stuff." And it's like, you don't think finally.
Right, exactly. And I think that's been kind of the thing, is like they've but I feel like they've kind of overcorrected in a way, and they've kind of not necessarily come out with too few of things, but I think they've like overcorrected, and I don't know. It's a weird kind of thing where I feel like they have, like, the stuff that they've come out with has still been misses. They still have had misses.
They've still
Um
had misses. There's
yeah.
definitely some
Well, and that
incredible
was
stuff to come out.
that is true. There's still some hype stuff that's coming out that a lot of people are excited about, but I know for a fact I saw the Thunderbolts in theaters twice.
Same.
I liked it a lot, but
David,
it
have you seen it
wasn't.
yet?
No, I have not.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I don't know. You probably care about spoilers, I'm assuming, yes.
I
But
mean,
Is that a yes
but
or a no?
after Deadpool and Wolverine, is there any other movie to really watch? I mean, it's
Thunderbolts
the
is
fact
fantastic.
yeah, well, Thunderbolts is really good, and and my thought about it was that's what Warner Brothers wanted Suicide Squad to be. The original Suicide Squad, not the James
Uh-huh.
Gunn Suicide Squad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what they wanted Suicide Squad to be, was the Thunderbolts.
Mhm.
And it had a lot more heart than I thought it was going to have, which I thought it was going to be just a lot of jokes and a lot of, it's like, oh, we're just a bunch of ragtag assholes that don't like each other, but we have to come together. Do, 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 do. And there is a bit of that, but you actually see a lot of the struggles of some of these characters, and there actually is some like growth and development, which is nice, and it's not something that you expected out of a movie like this. But
I remember when they first announced it, I was like, "Oh, brother, are we really doing this? They're gonna copy like Suicide Squad. It's gonna be bad. It's just gonna be This is just gonna be the most generic Marvel
well,
film." But
what's
that,
interesting.
mhm.
Well, what's interesting about it is originally the Thunderbolts were kind of like a B team Avengers, and they were like founded by Thunderbolt Ross. That's why they were called the Thunderbolts originally in the comic
In the
books.
comics.
So yeah,
Mhm.
so Red Hulk was part of the Thunderbolts. So I thought their plan with Captain America Brave New World or whatever with Red Hulk being in it, I thought that was setting up him being in the Thunderbolts, and they just weren't showing him in the advertisement. They weren't showing him in the advertisement material.
Mhm.
It was meant to be a surprise later. Or like a surprise cameo at the end or something, or where it'd be like, oh, we need help to defeat this guy. Oh, I know a guy or whatever. They go get Thunderbolt Ross out of prison. And
Yeah,
then
and
the
obviously
whole
that turned out not to be the case.
turned out not to be the case, but I still liked how it went, and it was still interesting.
Oh yeah,
Uh, but
I think they did.
The Thunderbolts, like the budget was like 130, like 130 million, and they made like 100, they made like 430 something worldwide, which isn't bad. It's still a profit, but it's still people are still considering it a flop, and I don't get it.
No, that's definitely not a flop. I think a lot of people think because it doesn't reach a billion, that means it's a flop, which it's not. Like they made their budget back in more, and I think
Yeah.
maybe their profits weren't as high as they'd like, but I think it definitely turned a profit. But I think
I
it's
think
also because they're using lower, like lesser known characters that
yeah,
people weren't as drawn to the theaters as something else.
yeah.
But I
I
thought
saw,
it's one of my favorite Marvel films in recent history. Even like
oh,
stretching back, it's so good. Like the themes it
I
touches
agree.
upon, the
Yeah.
dynamic, like it doesn't feel cheesy in a bad way.
No. Mm-mm.
Do you
And
feel
like
like
it
the
kind
way
of
that they made
uh
the movie was kind of getting back to their roots of like how, like newer Marvel movies has like the gross Marvel humor moments where it's like, here's the line, pause, stare. Okay, let's
so I
go.
think
Like that's
yeah, I think a lot of
the
the older Marvel
cringe.
stuff
You mean
set that
like
up, and then the
campy?
newer stuff like who?
You mean like campy humor?
Oh, yeah, this one, like, I think because they tied the humor to the characters, it definitely had a couple, like, campy
It
lines in there, but
did.
because it's tied to the characters' like personalities, it works really well. They don't just
Yeah.
like constantly throw out lines and they hang in the air and they're like, "Oh, we made a reference, it's funny." Like they
Yeah,
had a couple of those, but it was effective humor, I think.
I think it was good because it kind of went back to like Age of Ultron and like that comedy style because like we were saying like you were saying Nathaniel, all the different characters' comedy styles were linked to the characters and how they are. And I
Yeah.
feel like they did a good job of doing that with not taking anyone out of their characteristics or not making jokes out of character in a way, and it was actually funny. There were actually funny character moments, not just characters saying funny things.
Yeah, and I think that was, the whole Marvel their whole like I don't know, Marvel syndrome where their comedy is just in a lot of newer stuff and older stuff it's just like, "Oh, we made a reference. That's a joke." Or we said had like a little quip. It's funny because we made a quip instead of like it actually being funny. Exactly. But yeah, they had a great blend of, like uh fan service, yes, but also like deep meaningful
Yeah, I
commentary. Oh my gosh, like the darkness in this film is so well done, the transitions. I wish David watched
hmm
it because, I
yeah,
do
no,
want to
it's
see
really
more.
good. You
But I
should
think that's
you should definitely watch it. It's really I'm sure it'll be on Disney Plus soon. So
yeah, but this is the direction they need to take Marvel, more stuff like this. And it's just like they have so many projects and it's, they want to tie them all to Doomsday, and you see the cast list for Doomsday. Personally, it makes me kind of worried because it's too many characters. I don't know how they're going to pull that off.
well, Endgame and Infinity War had that many characters.
Yeah, this has more. It's like
No,
no?
no, it's about the same.
Oh, okay. So they
Yeah.
definitely can pull it off.
They can pull it off. My issue or my concern for it, I guess, it's a lot of characters that we are only just meeting in a movie before that. Like we're just meeting the
Mm,
Fantastic Four,
yeah,
this year in a movie, and then they're going to be in an ensemble big movie like that next year. So for me, I'm worried about because if Fantastic Four flops, then no one like people are going to be less hyped to see Doomsday because they're like a quarter of the cast, right?
right. Hmm.
Like the Thunderbolts, they were great. I liked them, so I think people are more hyped to see that, see them in Doomsday. And then I know Captain America was kind of iffy,
Man,
and
yeah, I haven't seen
yeah.
it.
I
I
haven't
just
seen it
was
yet
not.
either. I wanted to, but I missed it in theaters. So now Doug and
Yeah,
I were
it's on
saying that
Disney
we're
Plus
gonna,
now.
yeah. So Doug and I were gonna try to make a day to watch that. But
I've heard it had definitely a more lukewarm reception. Like people were like, "Oh, this is just
yes,
meh."
well, and that was the thing too. I feel like it could have been better if they had maybe hid the fact that Red Hulk was in it, and maybe had maybe show that the main villain was the main, threat, but maybe
Yeah,
even hide who he is, and maybe it's like it's a mysterious thing. We don't know who this is. And then blah 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 blah. And then at the end be like, "Oh, Red Hulk." Oh, and I think that would have
yeah.
been better. But the fact that they kind of showed their hand and just said, "Oh yeah, he's fighting Red Hulk." It's just kind of like, "Oh, okay."
And it
Yeah.
turned out to be such a small part of the film, runtime wise. It was like, "Oh, so you
Yeah.
just gave away the whole surprise," and there was just like we saw it and it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
enough.
essentially, pretty much all the clips in the trailers were pretty much the entire fight, and it's just kind of like, oh, okay,
Yeah, it just turned out to be a nothing. It's like, "Oh, you
yeah.
why you yeah, it's just a waste." It ended up being a wasted
They blew their
non-surprise.
load. They blew their load in the advertisement, and then they had nowhere to go, and it was just kind
Yeah,
of like, oh,
basically.
okay, yeah.
But before these two films, I haven't finished the season yet, but Born Again, Daredevil,
I haven't
I've
even started that.
so it is direct. It's basically season 4 of Daredevil from the Netflix ones. It is absolutely
That's what I've heard.
phenomenal. And I remember back when Daredevil was on Netflix, for me, it was the best of Marvel. Like it was just
Like
not just
full
because it was
stop.
mature. Yeah, it was just the best Marvel had to offer in cinema, TV or series. And this kind of continues that trend. It's so good. Like it's not just because it's mature content, but it's mature content handled well. Um,
I see.
and it has just so much commentary on society and humans and religion and politics. It's just so well done and such high quality. So that's another, and I know they went through a lot of rewrites and
Mhm.
reshoots, and they because I think it was John Bernthal. Like there was some things that were doing with this character, and he was like, "I'm not going to come back if you guys go this direction." So there was a lot of input from the cast that kind of turned around because it was going to be completely different, and I think it would have been bad. But this was around the time that, um, what's his face, Feige,
Yeah, Feige.
yeah, decided to like be like, okay, I'm actually going to listen to people finally years later and reroute. So that is phenomenal. Agatha all along, I try to watch it. It was just not
I heard it was a mess.
I think it's trying to do the Wanda thing where it's doing a lot of like TV type stuff. I think like every episode is trying to be like a different genre of TV. I think I saw 2 episodes and it just felt like it's about witches and stuff, and it just felt like a bad witch show.
Right.
Like if you want to watch a show about witches, go watch something else. And there's good stuff out there. American Horror Story. There's other stuff out there, and this just felt like meh.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Secret Invasion was bad. Guardians of the Galaxy
I heard it
3 was
was.
great.
Oh, yeah, Guardians was great. I love that.
Yeah. Quantumania was embarrassing. So it's like hit miss, hit miss, hit miss.
Yeah.
Um,
So I guess follow up question to or I guess not even follow up question, just question for you guys. What's a direction or what's something that you want to see out of Marvel like going forward? Through with Fantastic Four and then with Doomsday and then Secret Wars coming after that.
you want to say something, David?
Um,
Because I got thoughts.
I think my biggest thing with Marvel lately has been they don't really. I'm gonna carefully word myself here, but they don't really respect the source material enough in a way that shows you while you're watching the movie. And I'll give an example of this. When you're watching a lot of the origin movies for characters in the first, we'll just say any of the first 3 or 4 phases, right? You watch the Iron Man film, cool. This is a good encapsulation of how Stan Lee wanted Iron Man to be. Same with Thor, same with pretty much everyone in the beginning phases. And I can't help but be like, okay, in Shang-Chi, I didn't feel like there was any of that representation. In Eternals, I didn't feel like there was any of that feeling whatsoever. And in Doctor Strange especially, I felt like it was extremely flat when it came to the movie, even though there was some characters that were introduced, and it's like, hey, there was a cool moment you left behind because you didn't want to like really make this moment important. You just like it's almost kind of like their movie styles now is how God of War is written. It's just follow this character. There's no cuts or transitions, and when people show up in his life, they show up in other people's lives. Like, is it weird to say I miss the cutaways to the villains, like Obadiah Stane plotting while Tony is like just enjoying his life was a great keystone to follow for the rest of these franchise movies, but that's kind of gone now. Like, other than obviously the big, the bigger movies like Endgame and so on, those ones obviously have cutaways because it's like, okay, well, the main villain is almost as big of a character as the rest. But I'm kind of tired of that. I don't want just the main villain to get cutaways just when it's convenient. So I guess to wrap all of what I'm saying up is just respecting a little more of the source material and retain their freeformness to a tasteable degree and let Kevin Feige do what he wants to do because, by God, it's it's the dude. So,
yeah, I think the biggest issue is their huge funnel that they have throwing everything into Avengers. Personally, I think it would have been really good if they had maybe not 3 different Avengers films, but 3 different like areas or stories. There would probably be different films that things are headed to. And that would have, if they did a better job of saying you don't have to watch everything, you can watch this particular story or plot. Because some of their they have so many diverse stories that they're telling. Not the whole audience, like all of the Marvel audience is not going to want to watch, and it's proven, that it didn't want to watch every single series and movie they're putting out because not every person is going to be a fan of each of them. But Marvel requires that you see them all because they're all going to end up colliding in a big story at some point. And I think that, it derailed things for them because people haven't seen so many of the movies and series they've put out. And when they get to Avengers, they're going to be missing out on a lot of context for it. And it's been it's too much. It's too much to keep track of.
yeah.
But they were too afraid to not make series and movies that don't tie into stuff. Like what is it? Moon Knight is not going to tie into Avengers. They should have done more stuff like that is just kind of standalone.
Yeah.
But they're so
You make a great point.
They're so focused on the multiverse and connecting everything to that it's just like some of the lesser known stuff. It's just
Well,
it's not gonna have a good payoff.
Have you guys also noticed that the stuff that didn't work, they've just kind of let it fall away? So like they tried another Captain Marvel movie and that flopped. You notice how she's not in Doomsday?
Is she not?
No, she's not. You notice how fucking Quantumania flopped? Wait, no, Ant-Man and the Wasp. They're in Doomsday.
Okay. Yeah, and unfortunately, it looks like they're gonna potentially rehire Jonathan Majors to cast again. That's what I just
No, they're looking to recast him. They're not looking to hire him back.
Oh well, let me just send you this.
So are they I thought Kang they're just retconning. Are they bringing him back?
I don't know because originally, like these 2 Avengers movies were going to be about Kang. Like it was going to be Avengers and the Kang Dynasty, but then after all the drama with Majors, they 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 corrected the course and they made it Doomsday, which
Yeah,
I
which is an
was I was
insane like.
I was very hesitant about Robert Downey coming back to play Doom, but I've been hearing a lot of people talk about like the theories on how they're going to make it work and
Mhm.
everything, and I'm like, okay, all right, well, let's just give it a shot and let's just see, what, you know, how it goes. Well, because I heard of this theory that I want to run by you guys and see what you guys think. So you
Yeah.
guys remember in Endgame where Tony's talking to his dad in the past, right?
Mhm.
Um, and there's a moment that if you blink, you'll miss it, and it's a very subtle thing. And I don't know if they planned it. They probably didn't plan it, but they might be going off of this, or they might be doing something like this, or maybe they're not, and maybe it's just a fan theory. I don't know. But
Yeah.
when Howard Stark is talking to Tony, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like my wife's expecting," you could see Tony kind of make a face and kind of go, "Wait, what?" And a lot of people are going like, "Oh, well, what if Tony is not actually Tony Stark because maybe he was Victor Von Doom, but he got adopted by the Starks because they couldn't conceive." And him being confused is like, oh, you were gonna have a kid. Well, then what happened? You know what I mean? So it's like there's this theory that they're kind of like, oh, interestingly enough, like he was never actually Tony Stark at all. And he was actually Victor Von Doom, but he got adopted and then named Tony Stark.
Hmm. That'd be interesting. I think
Right,
another one
exactly.
that I saw is that I think they said they have a comic
Oh,
where one of the Iron
recasting.
Mans.
Oh, okay, okay.
Wait, does that mean recasting as someone else or bringing him back? Because that's kind of
No,
confusing.
no, it says at the top rehiring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I I
If
I
they
I misread
So
that.
I thought he's an incredible actor. I feel like they fumbled a lot of what they were trying to do with him.
Well, I
Um,
mean,
oh, for sure they did.
he also fumbled a lot just in life, but
Yeah.
yeah.
or I
I
guess he
mean, a
did.
lot of
I
that
guess
stuff.
he didn't fumble, and that was his problem. But
Well, yeah, some of that stuff turned out to be not true, like they were claiming it was, which is unfortunate for him.
which, yeah,
Mhm.
no, like I
That
hate
sucks.
I hate that. But
Yeah, it's
we're not
like
we're not here to talk about it. Anyway.
nah. But yeah,
Um.
I
Well,
think
if
I
they
saw one of the
yeah.
theories where they said that Iron Man becomes corrupted or something, and then
Well,
it's
because
one of the
there's
Iron Mans in the comics.
that's the thing too, is that in like the whole multiverse of Marvel comics and everything like that, there is one where like Tony becomes Doctor Doom and
Yeah.
he's like, and it's like an Iron Man like based like Doctor Doom suit. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if they do something like that or whatever, I'm like, okay. And that's the other thing too. There was a theory that he finds himself in this universe where Tony died and he sees everyone, he sees the murals and everything, and he's like, "Oh, I look just like him." Like he's not Tony Stark, he's Doctor Doom, but he's like, "Oh, I look just like that guy," and he's like a dead hero. Oh man, if I come back, or if I'm like the guy who comes back from the dead, and like everyone will love me, I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like yeah, I'm gonna ride that. You know what I mean? There's another theory like that, and I'm like, "Ooh, that could be interesting," but. Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
they're gonna do. They've been very, I mean, as they do, they've been very tight-lipped on any of the story and anything that they're gonna do. They released some like concept pictures of Doomsday, and there's like a medieval thing going on where apparently like Hulk and She-Hulk and Hulk's son are like in like a concept thing of like a medieval street. You see Doctor Doom sitting in a throne. And it's all very medieval like, so it makes
Yeah.
me wonder like, okay, what's going on? Like, is this like a thing where it's like because there's a thing where in the comics where he creates his own like utopia to try and like prove that he's better than Richard because that's his whole thing. He's just the ultimate hater. He hates he hates Reed Richards and so there was a whole thing where he created a utopia, but when yeah, and so So maybe it's something along those lines. I don't know, but it's just interesting that it was interesting because I was so against it at first because I'm like this feels very pandering and very just like, oh, let's just bring this actor back to play this other character because
Mhm.
our franchise is dying. But I've been hearing and have been sitting with it more, and I'm like, okay, I kind of like I let's and the Russo brothers are directing these next two Avengers movies as well, so
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I trust them explicitly with
Yes.
anything Marvel, so I'm like, okay, I trust them. I they'll figure it out.
Yeah, and it's not, because it's not because other directors couldn't handle it, but they've already have a track record of, doing some of the best Marvel content. Um, so I think with Tony, it's such a, or with Robert Downey Jr., it's such a fine balance because, especially with Doctor Doom, because Doctor Doom is one of the most important Marvel villains, and we haven't seen a good, uh, you know, version of him, not a great version of him, and they need to strike a balance between if they're even going to reference Iron Man or not. And I think it'd be best for them to do as much of just Doctor Doom himself and focus on like a good comic version of him tied to the screen. And maybe they could do a nod to Tony, but I would rather them separate them almost completely. So we'll see, like if they can pull that off. I think they're going to, based on some of the stuff they've been putting out, especially with the
Mhm.
Russo brothers. I think they're going to nail this film. We'll
Oh
see.
yeah, me
I think
too.
I agree with you, Evan, with Fantastic. A lot of it's writing on that because they are going to
hmm
be a focus, and if they fumble it, I think they're going to do great. The trailers and everything I've seen, it looks
I don't
like it's
know.
going to
I've heard a lot of the test screenings have not been going well.
interesting.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
like
where it's
yeah,
it where it's like for a movie called The Fantastic Four, leaving the saving the day to one person seems a little while everyone else is kind of twiddling their thumbs. And I'm like, I don't
what do you
like
mean?
that. Well, what I've heard, I don't know, like I don't know how factual it is. I've just
Yeah.
heard from test screenings that apparently the whole ending is Sue Storm and the Silver Surfer teaming up to
Mhm.
defeat Galactus while the other three of the Fantastic Four do nothing.
We'll see.
Which I'm like
Mm.
I'm like with a movie like the Fantastic Four, I feel like they
It's
should
about the
all,
four.
yeah, it should be the four of them, not one and this other person. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. These were all in the test screenings. It probably will lead to some changes and reshoots. I don't know. It's probably too late for that at this point,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it's
I
about to
don't
go
know.
out next month. Yeah.
Well,
I just
right,
know based on
exactly.
what I've seen, like in trailers and stuff, it looks like it's going to be a
It
very strong
looks
film. I
it
hope
looks
so. I hope
it
so.
looks really good. I like the aesthetic. They finally nailed the thing. Like Ben Grimm
Yeah, I
actually
know.
looks like a comic accurate thing. So I'm like, okay, like I like that. Like it looks aesthetically it looks good. Galactus looks good. He's not just this space fart floating through and like
Oh
eating
my God.
planets,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
and
the
I heard
fake collab with the.
well, no, and then and people were mad too when they were like, "Oh, it's a female Silver Surfer." I heard a lot of people bitching and being like, "Oh,
Yeah.
they're just gender flipping, blah blah blah." There is actually a female Silver Surfer,
Yeah.
in
And
comics.
it's so funny because like the
So
Marvel
like that,
comics are literally constantly gender flipping everyone
yes,
all the
yeah,
time.
no, I
That's
know, yeah,
comics.
exactly. No, yeah,
Yeah.
I know exactly. I wasn't mad at that. Like I
Yeah.
saw
No, I
that.
know, but people have been mad. Yeah.
Yeah, people
Oh
like
yeah.
to just jump and get mad at it without actually like, doing like looking into anything, and it's just very like, okay, well, calm the f- down. Like well, because now also too, like the Black Panther is also now white because it's T'Challa's white son.
Yeah.
In the comics?
Yeah,
Interesting.
that just happened, and now everyone's losing their shit, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, 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 we can't get mad at that.
I know, because if you understand like comics in general, they constantly race, gender,
Oh
everything,
yeah.
swap people all the time. There's like 50 versions of every character.
If
It's
you're a
like,
ginger, if you're a white ginger in a comic book, you're going to be played as a black person in a movie.
yeah,
That
it's
is that
just,
is that
yeah,
is just that is set in stone.
It's so weird. I thought it was some weird like conspiracy theory or something. But I started looking at stuff and I'm like, it's always
It's
Black
all
and Ginger
true.
that gets swapped. It's so weird.
It's all it happens every single time.
Yeah.
Every white ginger in any kind of media, if it gets revamped or whatever, yeah, it's just throw a black person in there. And I'm like,
It's so weird.
I think now they're just doing it because they know it's a meme. I think it's just genuinely like
It does feel that way, yeah. It's like, oh, people are saying that's a thing. Let's just keep making it a thing. It's
yeah,
bizarre.
let's just keep doing it. Why not? Like,
Yeah. And if you're gonna say it's good or bad, like not saying it's good or bad, it's just weird.
well, right, and that's the thing. It's like, and I feel like it goes back to the whole, I feel like studios are like checking boxes to try and like appease everybody and try to be
Oh,
look,
yeah.
we have all of these demographics in this movie, but then there'll always be that one demographic that's like, oh, you didn't represent us, therefore you guys are bigots, and it's like
Yeah.
they can't please everybody, obviously. So it's like, to me anyway, it's like focus less on checking off the boxes and actually telling a good story, and then like the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah.
And
You
all
can
that
have
to
as
say
much
with Marvel,
representation.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say all that with all that said with Marvel, I think they're headed in a good direction. I think, if they do more of what they've been doing with Daredevil and Deadpool and Thunderbolts, will be good. If they do less of the stuff like they've been doing with She-Hulk and the Marvels and all that, it will be golden. Like,
Yeah.
less pandering, more like quality content. It's all about the
Oh, yeah.
writing.
Oh, it's all about the writing. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, like Doomsday and Secret Wars will be successful. I know the Spider-Man movie is coming out next year.
Yeah, brand new day.
After Doomsday.
Yeah, brand new day, and that, I think
Mhm.
that's going to be one of the movies leading up to Secret Wars.
Mhm.
So that'll be.
Has either of you heard any update on Blade? Because I heard it stopped.
No.
I heard they paused
I
it.
believe
I think
there's rumors
it.
it's been canceled, but I don't, or that
Yeah,
they're recasting, but I don't think there's anything official.
I think it got canned.
Yeah,
Aw, that sucks.
which would
I
suck.
really liked.
Yeah.
I really liked Mahershala for Blade because he was a fantastic actor in
Yeah,
in the
no, I
Green
think
he's
Book
a great
and lots
actor.
of things.
I think it would have
But
been great, but I think I think Deadpool and Wolverine kind of ruined that.
a little bit. I mean,
Kind of
unless they can.
rekindled the Wesley Snipes hype, and everyone was just like, "Oh yeah, the new Blade."
Dude,
Okay,
they
so
can
we have
make
a
both
statement
work.
from Feige, actually. We are committed to Blade, Feige told Omelette via IGN. Shortly
Oh,
after the
okay.
film was pulled, we love the character, we love Marshall's take on him, and rest assured, whenever we change direction with the project or are still figuring out how it fits into the schedule, we will let the audience know. Okay, so it's definitely pulled for now, but they're trying to figure out. Okay, yeah.
All right, cool.
So it looks
Okay.
like they're still keeping him until they figure out what to do, which
Okay,
is a
last
way
time,
better
You
direction
know,
than we're gonna do it no matter what, even if it's bad.
you
right?
know,
Yeah.
in no way am I doing this based off of just the fact of similarity of race or nothing. But you know who would make a very good Kang the Conqueror would be Mahershala.
Oh yeah, probably.
He
Yeah.
is
He would
such
get
a
a
good. Oh,
He
That's the
would
thing.
be a good anyone.
That's the
that's
thing.
true.
That's the thing. I don't think Majors was bad at Kang. I think he was that was just the product of like a bad movie. I think that was
Yeah.
just the
Yeah.
product. I think that was just the product of like, yeah, like he just wasn't in the right movie. He wasn't introduced in the right movie. That was the problem. Because I
Yeah.
think
It's
Majors did a great job.
Oh
With
yeah.
what he had.
I think
So
Quantumania just like basically said like it just ruined anything they had built. It's like, oh,
yeah,
look
and
at
they
this pushover. Like he sucks. He's not a
Yeah,
good villain.
right, and that was
Mhm.
Or
that
he's
was my
weak.
that was my problem with Quantumania. It's like, how's this guy supposed to be an interdimensional threat when fucking Ant-Man and the Wasp beat him? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
because he was
like
like, he was wiping everyone out in like a blink of an eye, and then suddenly those three couldn't because they had the heaviest plot armor. But it just made
yeah,
it's like, dude, like Tiny Boy beat him? No. Tiny Boy and
right,
Tiny Girl, come on.
yeah, exactly. Like, how is that supposed to be? Like, how is he supposed to be the next cosmic threat when he was like quote unquote beaten, and
they were like, "Oh, it's just a variant of him," and it's like, no, they should all be strong. So it's
that was the thing. He was the variant that the other Kangs were the most afraid of.
Yeah, exactly. And
so
he
it's
was just like destroyed.
Yeah,
like,
and he was just like pulled into this like other smaller wormhole dimension or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, so
so that was a massive fumble for them because they were like, oh, basically he's not a threat.
Yeah. It's like, how are we supposed to be afraid of him? I don't understand.
Yeah. But I'm hopeful, not overly hopeful, but I think Marvel's going in a good direction. Kind of.
I think so too. I think because it's like they said last year that they were going to go back to more quantity, less quality, and it takes a while to
the other way. more quality, less quantity.
Oh, right. More quality, less quantity. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. But it's going to take a couple years to correct the ship because they were, Tokyo drifting into the iceberg. So now they have to actually now just really overcorrect, and there's going to be some hiccups, but I still think they're going in the right direction though.
Yeah. And I can wait because there's plenty of entertainment out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, anyway, technical issues aside, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate anyone that does still come and listen to us, even after all of the inconsistent scheduling. But we're glad that you still take the time to listen to us, and yeah.
I mean, we enjoy doing this so much. Like, we're friends. We like spending time together. If you guys want to listen and enjoy that, like, that's like, I guess, after, like, it's less important than us getting together, but we appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have a group chat where these guys will, explode with 50 something messages, and I don't read half of them, but
yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I know that's how it goes. I'm not throwing shade. I've silenced the group chat, like, because otherwise my phone will just keep going off. Well, no, not wow.
Come in and check.
Wow.
Like I'm just the manager at this point. I'm just making sure that you guys aren't.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk.
I love the idea.
At some point, but
you can't micromanage. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm letting you guys do.
I love the mental imagery of Evans doing something actually productive. Looks down at his phone, missed 57 messages, and he's just rolls his eye and says, "Talent," and then goes back to doing what he's doing.
It's like David and I are just like on the ground splashing constantly like Magikarp, and he's like, "Oh, those two again. I'll come back later."
Yeah, exactly.
It's beautiful.
So Evan, if Nathanael, myself, and Doug were your starters for Pokemon, who are you choosing?
Okay, no, that's.
Oh wait, so you mean, like, what do you mean by starters? Like, if I had to pick one of you as my starter?
Yeah, and then who are you throwing in the Shredder? I guess the other ones would go in the Shredder.
Is that new in Pokemon? Can you kill the other options? I'll play it now.
Like Pokemon Go, right? You make them into candy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you do that. Yeah. See, that's hard. Because no, that is really hard. Because
we're all out of time. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I appreciate everybody listening. Tune in. We're gonna do more. We promise.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Because how many times have we said that?
Yeah, for realsies.
Don't make them count, Evan. Our listeners can't count already.
If those kids could count, they would be very upset.
And dangerous.
Oh God. Oh, they can count. They know every Marvel movie.
All right, why are you still here? Get out of here!
All right.
Get out of here.
If you want to keep up to date with NerdNout, you can follow us on Twitter, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and YouTube. You can also email us, as always, at nerdandoutpodcast@gmail.com, and you can use the subject line Flavor Blasted to email Nerd Out your favorite ideas for podcasts, any comments or questions you have, or you can just harass us and stuff. We don't mind. Maybe a little bit.